just in time. Years ago I worked for a big company, and we were told that we needed to buy from certain companies. Oh yes, certain companies. So we would get an order, and maybe if we needed something within a week, we could get an order, and within a week we would get it. Even though a chemical company a few miles away could have delivered it cheaper, but we can't do that. So when I needed something, I ordered it from the company, and they ordered it from another company. Oh, which company did they order from? The one we're a few miles down. So why don't we just do this? We order from that company and have the company that's a couple miles down ship it from there to us. Can't do that. But wouldn't that be cheaper? Yes, but you can't do that. Oh, because that's not a politically correct company. So it's going to cost me a lot more money to buy from the company that's in another state and buy locally. Yes, but we have to be politically correct. Oh, okay. So that's the thing. But we're also finding just in time doesn't really work in manufacturing too. It used to be you could order from Joe Smith, and within a week we would get it. Now, Joe Smith, who no longer can get it from a wholesaler because the wholesaler happens to get it from China, and if there's an increased price, these days, ordering something from China, if it goes on a cargo ship, be because the shipping of the cargo ship was 20 times more than it used to be, and to fly it in, if it's on a Chinese airline, it costs a lot more than a quote another airline. So just in time from China is no longer just in time. And the pandemic only worsened the thing. And manufacturers are returning to, can we make it in 3D printers? Or if a bunch of us who need these products, maybe we should set up a company here to make the products we need. And but that would be expensive. Not if we get a partner like Musk. Think about it. Just spend $40 billion for a company that he most likely will, finding that there's a inflated amount of people that don't exist on Twitter. It's like he has a few 100,000 cars he can't get chips for because the chips are made somewhere else. And so instead of, well, I think it's rather stupid to spend $40 billion when you should have built your own chip factory. Yeah. And you wouldn't have to worry about the chips. You know, just in time. Yes, just in time. Okay, let's see what else I can talk about. The supply line. That supply line is really screwed up, and manufacturers have, as I said, have realized is you cannot trust it coming from China at inflated price, and can you get it from somewhere else? And you have to understand the stuff from China may not be a good quality. It may be out of spec. So they start looking for Korea, Malaysia, Japan, Mexico, Europe, Canada, as someone guy says, our competition happens to be, we make basically the same thing. Let's see where our friends in Canada are helping us out. Maybe we have something they can't get from China, and they have something we can't get from China. Oh. And as I said before, maybe it should be made here. But we would have to set up a plant. But you don't have to worry about the transportation. Yes. There's a lot of little things in this country. If you add money to their bottom line, you could very likely manufacture here like we always used to manufacture everything. And since there's a war in Ukraine, it's amazing how many industries are tooling up to build specified things for the defense industry, because we used to get it from China. Yes. And what kind of quality did you get from China? Not that good. So the supply lines are, yes, this pandemic pretty well opened up a lot of stuff. A lot of people are rethinking where they're going to get their material from. And they really start looking around the United States and Canada, sometimes in Mexico or offshore, and not in China. Well, yes, we also have Japanese and Korean manufacturers. But again, this pandemic has really opened up a supply line thing. Locals can't go wholesalers. Wholesalers can't do that. And then somebody says, can we manufacture it by 3D printing? Oh, well, that's about that one. Okay, I think that's my thing about supply lines. Oh, well, I'll give you one thing right now. Baby formula. It seems that there isn't enough manufacturing going on baby nourishment in this country. And people say, well, maybe we should import it from somewhere else. But somewhere else is having a lot of problems too. Canada's having problems. Mexico's having problems. Well, and you got to watch this thing. If you think the local company had problems, you may want to really look at third world countries, and I don't mean Canada, where they manufacture baby stuff, if they even do it at all, because their standards of control is not the same standards here. As someone once said about Coca-Cola, the standards that they have in Mexico City is not the same standards we have in the United States for Coca-Cola. But, Coca-Cola in the United States uses corn syrup, and they use sugar down in Mexico. But somebody says, if you walk into a Mexican plant owned by the same company, it's not the same thing. As you get products from China, and you look at the stuff and you hope that it's within spec, U.S. specs, not Chinese specs. Yes, and the supply line there. Well, we can bring it in by plane. You can't bring it in by plane.